On the line today, I got a really special guest. I got actress and producer Sydney Sweeney. Notable work in Sydney's career, and it's all notable, include Emmy nominations for Euphoria and White Lotus, big screen success in feature films such as Anyone But You and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Sydney has not only emerged as an extremely popular talent in the industry, but has carved out a strong and smart and diverse body of work that continues to impress in a very good way. Sydney's currently doing the rounds, proudly promoting the release of a newest film. It's titled Christie, a very well received biopic, which she transforms herself into trailblazing female boxer Christy Martin. The movie's titled Christie. It hits theaters November 7th, which should become a major part of award season. Welcome to the program, Sydney. Pleasure to have you on.
Pleasure to be here. Thank you so much.
You got it. Now, first question would be, you find out about Christy Martin and what motivated you to want to get involved in the responsibility of playing a real life person such as her?
Well, honestly, it was the fact that when I read the script, I didn't know who she was. And I wanted to be a part of bringing her story to the world. I was like, more people need to know who she is because she's such a fascinatingly inspiring woman. And I wanted to be a part of that.
Another question. Do you have to, when you're playing a real life person, you have to do some soul searching, unlike a fictional character, and really understand the responsibility of putting this on celluloid to stand the test of time?
I mean, it's definitely, especially with Christy, I felt a lot of the weight on my shoulders. It's a very important story, and she's a very important person. So it's handled with a lot of care and a lot of thought. But the greatest part was I had Christy. Like she was a part of it from the very beginning till now. She was on set with me. I had her while I was prepping. So being able to have her in my corner was definitely a huge gift.
So what was on the page on the script in terms of the information and the bond you got through her and her interpreting her life story versus what was on the written page?
I mean, because Christy was so involved in the screenwriting process, you felt Christy in the pages. Like David and Mira did such a great job capturing her energy and her experiences in her life in that, and I think it was like 120 pages. And I think that there was such a deep connection. It wasn't like having to extract information from one or the other to import, just because Christy was so involved.
I know you also produced a film, and this is an independent film outside the studio system. What is it? I'm curious. What does it take to cultivate a movie from A to Z that's financed independently outside the studio system? Obviously, you're very proud of this film. It just won best picture at the Virginia Film Festival last Thursday. You're doing the rounds. You're again proudly promoting the film. How hard is it to cultivate, get this in order, and get it released, and get people to go see it in a post-COVID age?
It's a lot of hard work. I mean, when you're outside that studio system, you're operating full gears, and you got to put 150, 200% of yourself into it, like every single person involved. So it's a lot of passion. It's many hours of phone calls and conversations, but it's all worth it.
Tell me about the cast. Ben Foster plays James Martin, your husband, and Chad Coleman, who is Tyrese on The Walking Dead. I'm a fan. I think he's a really good actor. Plays Don King. What was it like to work with these people?
I mean, Ben is such an incredible scene partner. He truly just lives in the moment with you. He is such a great listener. I felt so safe and protected by him, and he pushed me to better my craft every single day. Chad was a delight. He really brings such life to Don King. I mean, you can't even tell the difference. It's crazy. He did such a great job. It was so fun, and the rest of the cast was fantastic.
Did you know who Don King was before you started to shoot this film? How big a part of pop culture he was in the 80s and 90s and so forth? A huge part of pop culture.
I did. I did. I mean, I didn't like grow up during that time, but I knew who Don King was.
Very good. Another story to tell you. About almost 2 months ago, I got a chance to do a really good interview video with Ron Howard, and he's promoting Eden. And unprompted, he started talking about the cast, and he said, "I got to tell you a story." And I said, "What, Ron?" He said, "Sydney Sweeney, in my opinion, is as hard a working acting talent as I've ever worked with." And that's high praise considering Ron Howard, his work with the best and the biggest in the industry, Tom Hanks, Gary Sinise, so on and so forth. When you hear stuff like that, what do you think?
I mean, I'm just incredibly honored to hear that. I'm a huge fan of Ron. It was a treat to work with him. He's one of the kindest filmmakers that I think I've ever worked with. He was so passionate about that story, and of course, he's an icon. He's one of the most talented filmmakers out there. So
You've been on set.
it's definitely
You've been on set with Ron Howard, Quentin Tarantino, and back in the day, 2010, when you were a very young actress, you were on the set with John Carpenter in a movie called Award. The director in this film, Christie, David Micho. Tell me about him. What do you learn? What do you learn from past directors? What do you learn from this director?
I mean, honestly, the culture of a project is set from the director, and David brought such love and tender care to this project, and it trickled all the way down to everybody else. And everyone was just as passionate as he was because of it. And he's such a kind person. He's so fun. I love my Aussies, so it was great to be around another Aussie again. And he truly was passionate about this.
That's really good. Again, on the line with actress producer Sydney Sweeney, proudly promoting the release of Christie, which hits theaters November 7th. She plays a boxer, female boxer, Christy Martin. I'm going to tell you another story. Earlier this year, I did an interview, which I thought was pretty fascinating, with a journalist. His name was Sean Levy, and he wrote a book, a biopic on the life of Clint Eastwood. And one of the things in this book that is mentioned when Clint Eastwood cast Million Dollar Baby in 2004 with Hilary Swank. Clint knew she was a really good actress, and she is. I've interviewed her before. She's a great person, but he was hesitant because he didn't know if she could handle the physicality of that role. Hilary Swank went on to gain 20 pounds of muscle drinking protein shakes and learned how to box left handed. Tell the audience and myself, how do you mentally focus and how do you physically prepared to do what you did in this film, Christy?
Physically, I trained for about 2.5 months beforehand. I actually worked with Hillary's coach, Grant Roberts, to
Okay.
physically transform for this. And I put on 35 pounds. And it was a huge transformation. It was physically and mentally draining. It was a lot of work, a lot of sleepless nights, a lot of protein shakes. It was a lot of calories. And and then I worked with a boxing coach as well. So not only was I grew up kickboxing, so I kickboxing
Right, I read
grappled,
that.
so I understood the sport. But boxing, of course, is different. Like the stances are different. There's some different techniques. So I had to retrain my brain how to fight. But then I also had to train myself to fight like Christie's, because every single fight you see in the movie is an actual fight of Christie's. It's not like we were just making up combinations. We were studying Christie's fights with those exact fighters and doing those exact combinations in the movie. So it was a lot of preparation and a lot of a lot of hard work.
That's awesome. Last question for you. When it's all said and done and you got a chance to watch this movie, I'm assuming at a festival, and you saw the audience reaction. Tell the audience how you felt after the movie ended, first time you watched it.
I was just incredibly honored to be there. I've always said that for me, the only opinion that mattered was Christie's, and because I made this movie for her, and she is someone who will forever matter to me for the rest of my life. And having her there to watch it with me and seeing how people reacted to her and how much she means to others now, and we hope that this movie will help save people's lives. It's very impactful and meaningful, and I was crying the entire time. It was an emotional experience.
It's awesome. Again, it's Sydney Sweeney. The movie is Christy. hits theaters November 7th. Sydney, thank you very much for your time. Best of luck with this film.
Awesome. Thank you so much.